Hi, aloha, and welcome to the Empowered Empath podcast. My name is Jennifer O'Neill.
And I'm Michelle Schneider. Quick friendly reminder, if you haven't already, to like the video if the content resonates with you and to subscribe if you haven't already.
Yes. So today I wanted to talk about the energy, or I think both of us kind of wanted to talk about the energy. We did do, and by we, I mean I did, I guess. You're always with me on everything, so I won't, we. I did an energy report in the live coaching class at Empath University. If you want to know what that is, you can go to empath-university.com where I do live spiritual coaching monthly. We did talk about the energy that was going on over there. I wanted to expand upon some of the things that is happening. I think that we should probably talk about, just because I'm noticing a lot of people struggling with all kinds of things right now. They are struggling with relationship dynamics. They are struggling with shifting and changing going on in their life. They're struggling with the energy, especially recently, has been like more tense than normal, as far as like people tend to be more aggravated than normal. They it might be a little bit edgy would be the word. And so that energy is around right now, and I think that we should talk about that. But relationship and change, those tend to be two things that I think that people need to be looking for or watching how they're handling things, I guess I would say, because the the astrological energy are going to be affecting relationships. It's going to be affecting relationships, money flow. It's going to be affecting your habitual patterns, I guess I would say. Disrupting, that would be a good word. It's going to be disrupting habitual patterns of what you're used to. And I feel like I've been preaching about this all year, but it's that same old thing where get ready for some change, get ready for some shifting. And people are starting to see that. Do you know what I'm talking about? Because
Yeah,
you
but I
look
kind of feel like we're always going to be in change, right? I mean, or is this more of like a buckle up period where things are
it's
a
more
little
of
bit?
a bubble up period. So that's fair. I think that we need to change. There has to always be an ebb and flow, a movement. If you're stagnant in your energy, new energy is not flowing in. So I don't like the idea of never changing. But for a lot of people, there's some drastic things happening with jobs right now, relationships, like what things that maybe they either they weren't necessarily pursuing as far as ending or beginning of anything. They were just going about life, and then there was like a wrench thrown into the plan, and they were like, "Oh no."
Is it kind of more along the lines of like expect the unexpected, like things you just didn't really
Yes.
see on your radar,
Oh,
like
very good.
hello? Yeah.
Yes, I like the expect the unexpected. Things will have to adjust moving into 2025. You're not going to be able to move into 2025 doing the same things that you've always done if you want to be in healthy, balanced places. So, things that are not healthy and balanced right now in this particular energy are going to be highlighted. So, anything that is out of balance in your life is going to be in a spotlight energetically and astrologically, which means there's going to be a focus upon it. And it also means that's probably things that are going to change. You're going to have to change somewhere along the line, that you have to shift something to bring balance back to that area.
Okay, something just popped into my head, and so you tell me if this is along the lines of what you're talking about. Okay, so, like, let's say something's out of balance. Let's say maybe somebody works too much. Don't know who that would be. Um,
Know anybody.
let's say all of a sudden you start to feel like you don't wanna even work at all. Where
Exactly.
is that where they shift in the balance? Because I feel like that now where it's like I've just been go, go, go all the time, nonstop, don't take a day off. And
I
then I
think
get a minute and then I'm like, I don't wanna do nothing.
I think that's a really good analogy, because if you don't have balance and you're working, 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 and there's no balance to you being off, right? Like
Yeah.
taking time for yourself, like you're not consistently working with it, then there it's going to flip, like the flip on its head, you know? You're going to be like, well, I don't even feel like doing anything. And I know me and you talked about this because I'm the same way. Like we work all the time. It's ridiculous. And I just hit a wall, in essence, of the other day. I was just like, I don't want to do anything today. I don't want to get on my computer. I don't want to do anything. And now a lot of people are like, well, yeah, that's how I feel. Okay, well, that's not how I normally feel. It's not how you normally feel. So it was a very odd sensation. I literally did not even know what to do with that, because in my mind, I have all these things I need to handle. It wasn't like I was just off. It wasn't like everything been handled. Now's a good time to take a break.
Yeah.
It was just like same situation, same habit, same pattern, working as normal, same amount of stuff to do, but don't really want to do it right now. And that was a very foreign feeling. So, yes, that would highlight that we don't have balance with our work life situation. Like we really needed somebody to tell us that. But I mean,
Yeah, I think I could have figured that one out, but it's just like that would make sense though of like why all of a sudden I feel like I've hit a wall and don't want to do anything when normally I have yeah, I run into these areas where I'm just not motivated after, and it usually comes after these times where I'm running myself into the ground because
right,
I'm doing so much.
right. So, what would happen to bring balance back energetically is you just don't want to do anything, unmotivated, whatever. You take several days, like time off, like more time off during those days. Maybe you work at less those several days. And then we start to pull back into balance again. So moving into 2025, in order not to crash and burn with balance, you want to take these times right now to actually adjust habits and patterns. Those habits and patterns are not going to work well 2025, 2026. I've talked about this many times. We went over it extensively in the live streaming class. It's no longer going to work for you. And if we continue to go down those paths that where we're out of balance, it's going to feel like, very, what did you say, joltish almost. Coming to things might come to an abrupt halt. Things might not come to an abrupt halt, but they might feel like heavy turbulence. We don't really need more turbulence. I don't think anybody's like, yeah, I could use more turbulence in my life. I don't really think that's a thing. I think
No,
it's just like, hey, just calm everything down.
unless you're addicted to drama, but no.
No, I don't think that's a thing. Uh, but like, for instance, relationships. I'm noticing a lot of people right now, really the relationship dynamic, typically with significant others, but could be with, other people in your life. There's, they're coming to a head, in essence, where maybe there's some large arguments. They're feeling like very disconnected, maybe. Um, but they are being highlighted right now. And the way that we need to balance those is, what's the issue? It's most likely going to be communication, because especially if you're an empath, because there's two things that empaths do. One is they like to avoid energy or things that make them feel uncomfortable. They like to avoid unfamiliar and uncomfortable feelings, because for obvious reasons. Actually, I wouldn't say that was just empaths. I think that's people in general. People do not like to be uncomfortable or feel like they're in unfamiliar territory. And I'm just going to point this out before I forget it. 2025 and 2026, you better get ready to be uncomfortable. And you better be ready to be able to sit in that feeling, because of all the change happening, and not just assume things are going to be bad. So it's an automatic response. It's a habitual response, I believe, with most people, that uncomfortable and unfamiliar feelings automatically trigger a trauma response in their brain to, oh, this isn't going to be good. And that's not always been the case in your life. It's not even been the case in patterns that you've had. But because it's the scariest outcome, things not doing going well, then we automatically, that's on our radar. Like, oh geez, I don't want this to happen, or we're in unfamiliar territory, things feel uncomfortable. So, oh my gosh, this means bad things. It doesn't mean bad things. It means you're in uncomfortable territory or unfamiliar territory. That's all it means. This is why people resist change so much. Resistance is super hard on the body, energetically, spiritually, physically. Yet we spend most of our time bracing ourselves and resisting change and outcomes. But how are you ever going to get to a better place without change? Most people are just not going to go out there changing things in their life. That's just not something we do.
Is this like being forced to being changed? Because when you say, 25, 26, I'm thinking like, what do we need to be ready for? Like, is this societal stuff? Is this personal stuff,
All of it,
economical,
yeah.
like
societal,
everything?
societal, and personal. So it's not all societal and it's not all personal, but there's going to be a sprinkling of both areas where we're going to be in unfamiliar territory and uncomfortable territory. But I think it's a blessing to go in to retraining ourselves. So the gold here is this is a safe time, safe place to retrain ourselves to think differently and handle change differently and handle energy differently and see that there can be very positive outcomes and we can have positive things happening in our relationships and our money flow and our career society wise, that it's not all bad. It's just something that you typically tend to avoid as a human, and as an empath you typically tend to avoid uncomfortable, unfamiliar places. But if you never went to unfamiliar places in life, think about it this way: when you travel, you're in unfamiliar territory. You would never ever travel. You would never see new things. You would never experience new foods. You would never experience new people. You really need to embrace life the same way. When we get in unfamiliar territory, we might not experience that happiness we didn't know existed. We might not experience this creativity that we didn't know existed, or we might not explore new places for our energy, our love, our brain to go to. We need unfamiliar territory. It actually helps us on an expansive scale. It helps us grow spiritually, helps us grow mentally. It helps us achieve things we never ever thought we would achieve, because you can't always see what you're capable of. You just assume you're capable of what's in this little jar here, and that's where you navigate from. We need that to expand our soul, to expand our heart, to expand um, all things, to expand purpose, to expand our quality of life, our life experience. We need unfamiliar territory. It's important. It's
Yeah.
it's food for the soul, it's food for the brain. So now's a good time to retrain yourself into, we're in an expansive time personally, we're in an expansive time emotionally, so society wise, earth wise, astrological wise. This is the time of expansion with energy, which means it's not going to feel familiar. And places of imbalance are going to be highlighted so that we have the opportunity to balance them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it totally makes sense. And I wanted to add too, it's just like, of all the bad things that I've been through my life, and I've had my fair share, I feel like I have always, I will, once I'm through the other side, I always look back on it. I'm like, I am thankful that I went through that, because now, I've either gained some sort of knowledge that I didn't have before, or I, became a better version of myself having
Mhm.
gone through it. So it's like, even though it sucks to go through and nobody wants to go through it, I always have to just trust now. I'm like, there's a reason, there's a purpose, there's something better ahead.
I think that this is such an opportunity to bring a better balance into our life, though. Like, I just really, really do. I think it's such an opportunity to embrace expansion, bring balance, embracing expansion. That's what this is all about. 2025, 2026 is learning how to do that. And I don't think we do balance well as a society or on a personal level. I think that we get in these spaces where we think we're superhuman and we can do all things, or that everything's going to run on autopilot, which might be money flow, relationships, and career. And if these things that you want to run on autopilot do not fulfill your soul, do not feel balanced within your spirit and what your desires are, what your purpose is, because we're running into such a purposeful time, expansion wise and spiritually. It's going to highlight, it's going to show. We just sometimes we're too scared to make rock the boat. We want things to be on autopilot because a lot of our life is not on autopilot. A lot of our life feels chaotic. So we feel very relaxed and relieved if we feel like, okay, this job is secure, this relationship is secure, or whatever. And then when we start to feel the focus going, okay, no, your relationship needs some work. We need to work on communication here. You need to work on what your desires are here. You need to be expressive to your significant other on possibly making changes. Expression. That's what I'm talking about moving into 2025, 2026. These are going to be important to bring balance. Job wise, is this working for you? Is it feeling purposeful? Are you feeling happy there? Are you on autopilot? Are you expressing concerns to your people or to yourself? Are you really looking at what that's doing for your quality of life balance? Is it working for you? Is it working against you? But yet you feel stuck, you feel on autopilot, you feel like this is just what I do. It's been what I've been doing. We need to make adjustments. If you're not going to make adjustments, there's going to be adjustments made for you, which might be layoffs, might be move to a different department, might be whatever. If you are in a positive mindset and you're like open to, I'm open to this expansive energy. I want to see what's going to happen. I'm okay with moving into unfamiliar territory. That's being more positive. I'm okay with it. I'm interested in it. I'm curious about this expansive energy. And I'm curious how it's going to relate to my job, because my job hasn't been feeling good for a while. So I'd like to see what it could bring into my life. Can't be worse, has to be better, right? Then you might get a promotion, or you might move departments into a better space. You might have a job opportunity come in that maybe you didn't see before, because you're being open to the expansive energy. We're not being resistant. But if you can feel the energy shifting and you can feel that it's going to highlight possibly a career, and you're like, oh no, this doesn't feel good to me. I this what if they make cuts? What if they make changes? Business hasn't been so good. I'm nervous. Like, I can't lose this job. If I lose this job, like, I don't know what's going to happen. Then we're going to run into a whole different scenario. Now we're moving into expansive energy with negativity. When you move into expansive energy flow with negativity, well, things aren't going to feel balanced at that job anymore. And we don't know what that's going to look like, but they might be making cuts. They might switch you to an apartment you don't like. You might have a layoff.
Yeah.
There's, is that clear?
Yeah, no, and I was like, I feel like that message is meant for me too, because I worry, and well, I don't want to say worry because it's more of a curiosity, because I feel like there's lots of changes coming, and I'm just like, I just want to know. Like, I just want to know how it's all going to unfold. I know I'm going to be fine, but it's just that curiosity that I'm just like, I don't know how it's all going to happen.
Curiosity is great. If you move into this expansive energy with curiosity and excitement and just an interested approach, wondering, this will be interesting. I haven't experienced this before, but you don't feel the dread, the negativity, the worry. You're going to move into this energy, this expansive place. There's going to be shifts and changes, but you're going to move in a positive direction because that's the energy you're going to align with. But relationships are also very similar. If you're going, okay, I am feeling unbalanced in my relationship, and I know that this needs to be addressed. It's been needing to be addressed for a while. I don't want to do it, but I'm going to do it anyways, and we have a conversation, and then we move forward in a positive direction. It's going to clear up a lot of things, and you're going to balance your relationship very nicely. If you're like, oh my gosh, I've always worried about this, and what if we break up, and what if they don't feel the same way, and then you just start panicking, and we have some negative thoughts. That's not going to allow us to move into expansive energy in a direction that you potentially want, like if you're wanting to continue in a positive light, right? And so, but you will need to address those things because everything's going to highlight where you're out of balance. Not all people are going to be dealing with relationship things. Not all people are going to be dealing with career things or money things. But whatever is feeling imbalanced in your life, they're going to highlight. And with that, typically when we are out of balance, it will affect health. So we have two things happening as far as how our physical body is going to feel. And I did, again, it went extensively into this in that live streaming class. So if you want to, learn more, definitely go to the empath-university.com. But the body can feel movement of energy astrologically, the earth adjusting, the stars adjusting. It can feel it. And we, like I said, we talked about this a little bit more, but it will potentially sometimes heighten aches, pains, migraines, um, things of that if you are out of balance. So now if you're starting to experience um, health things are maybe amplifying, if you're starting to experience them for the first time, if you're starting to experience amplification of something that you've had, it's definitely an indicator that you're not in balance with this energy moving forward. So that can become a little bit more difficult sometimes because instead of people going, okay, I'm out of balance, so that means I need to look at my life choices, my life experiences, and what I'm doing to navigate stress and purpose and joy and security and all the things in my life. They go to the doctor and go, I need you to fix me,
Mm.
which I don't disagree with. I think that if you need to go to the doctor, go to the doctor, but help them by helping yourself. you know they have great things for a lot of things in life, but we need to get to the root of it ourselves. They can't do that. That's not what they're trained for. They're trained to treat symptoms, they're trained to help you out of pain, they're trained in some wonderful areas, but they're not trained in your energetic balance. They're not trained with your frequency, they're not trained with understanding how to treat the whole package, which would include your emotional, spiritual, and physical body. They're trained in one body, and that's all. So now we have to go back and go, where am I out of balance? What is not satisfying to me? That's where I would start too, because people are going to wonder, okay, well, then how do I figure out where I'm out of balance? I would cover the big three: career, love, and money. That's the first thing I would do. How happy are you with career? How balanced do you feel with career? How fulfilling? Does it feel good? Does it feel not good? I mean, you can really simplify it down to, does this feel good or not good? My career house. It does my money house feel good or not so good? Does my relationship house feel good or not so good? That can help you at least start to narrow it down. And when you're in your relationship house, and I use houses because I talk about that a lot in that Empowered Empath book I just wrote. Um, when you're in there, that doesn't always contain a significant other. Just FYI, can contain coworkers, it can contain family, it can contain loved ones, it can contain friends. So a relationship house can encompass a lot of different relationships. Money is clearly money, career is clearly career. So I would say that would be a good place to start if you're noticing any of the things that I'm talking about. And then understand that because we're moving into expansion, if you're having issues there, it's out of balance and you will not want to ignore it. Trust me, you're just not going to want to ignore it. You're going to want to start looking for ways to bring yourself into balance sooner than later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so if you would like to learn more about this kind of stuff, I know I keep talking about the live coaching thing over there, but we do go cover a lot of this, and we cover a lot of this monthly. Um,
And
and
plus you get the opportunity to ask any questions. So if you're there live, then, if there's topics that you want to talk about too, it's like,
yeah, we talk a lot. We have a whole community over there where we're really discussing things. You can ask personal questions, and then sometimes we actually do the readings. So some we'll start that up again in January. But we do a thing called spiritual tools practice, where if you're a reader, you can practice doing readings within the group, or if you're not a reader, you can actually get readings monthly during the spiritual tools practice. So um, do you have any questions or anything you'd like to add?
I don't think so. It's just, for our buckle up period, do we just need to expect this kind of for the next couple months until we enter into 2025? Like, when do things get a little bit sunnier?
I feel like the energy shifts again in January. So we're going to have this sluggish energy moving in all the way through December, where things are imbalance is going to be highlighted. So it's going to be like opposite day. Like you said, like if you're feeling like, oh, I'm a go working, you're going to be like, yeah, I really just want nothing to do with that right now. And this is really confusing to my brain because this is not how I normally think, and so then the taking all that time off is going to bring a balance back into the work life. And then hopefully what you do from there is you integrate it more, or you make shifts and changes. So what I'm suggesting is when you figure out what's out of balance, make shifts and changes to do better at balance next year. You want better balance and commit to better balance. For relationships, it's probably going to be more communication. It's going to probably be approaching your partner with more love. We're going to see that a lot. Approaching things in a more calm manner when you're interacting with people. That's going to be probably highlighted in a lot of relationships. When you're working with career, it's probably going to be making sure you have a good work-life balance, or that you're feeling somewhat fulfilled in your career. If not, you're going to want to look for things that are fulfilling that you can do within your life. Doesn't have to be within your career necessarily, but we're going to have to add that in somewhere to bring balance. If you're looking at a restrictive money flow, then chances are the way that you're viewing money and in other aspects of your life where you're restricting things, you're restricting energy movement, that's going to be affecting money flow. So you're going to want to, when it comes to money, I don't suggest people focus upon the money aspect as much, because money seems to be a byproduct of resisting energy in other areas of your life. So when you're working with resistance and negativity, money flow is kind of a byproduct of that. It will start to slow and feel restrictive. So I would focus on personal areas and make that balanced as best you can. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, hopefully you found this helpful. As always, I'm going to let Michelle tell you all the things to do with the YouTube, but I did do the empath book. I know we've talked about this. It is out on Amazon. Audiobook is being created as we speak. And book 2 will be coming out. I had to move it to January 1st. And then I'm going to get into spiritual health as well. But if you want to learn more about these things, you want to stop over at the Empath University, or definitely get on my email list, because I have some certification classes coming up in 2025, January, actually. So I definitely want to do that. And
And I'm sure that you'll put all of the links to all of those things in the description of this video so that
Yes.
they can easily find them as well.
Yeah,
And
Impact University and yeah, the website, yes.
yeah, and your books and all the things, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, be sure to like the video. If you have any questions regarding, this topic, be sure to put those in the comments. We do look at the comments, and subscribe if you haven't already.
Yeah, and if you wanna get more in the conversation of it, come join us on the live coaching, so,
Yeah.
all right. Until next time, have the most amazing day, try to stay balanced, and, we'll talk soon. Aloha. Bye.
Bye.